Hey everybody, welcome back. New rifle today. Well, not a new rifle for me, but something new I'm showing off. This is my Remington Model 522 Viper. This came out from 1993 to 1998. Didn't have a really long run of a life, mainly because this scary looking magazine. This came out right before the federal assault weapons ban in 1994. And a lot of people say this is part of the reason this rifle failed was because this magazine makes it look like an assault rifle. But we know it's not because it's a 22 long rifle. And that magazine only holds 10 rounds. They did make a 25 round version of it. They are nearly impossible to find from my experience. This rifle was developed to take over from the Remington Nylon 66, which was a pretty great rifle from everything I've ever read about it. It's an outstanding, reliable rifle, and it was something to go against. The word was that these developed were against the 1022, which, you know, everybody knows the 1022 is a very great rifle. You can't go wrong with one. The accessory market's fabulous for them. Whereas this doesn't have much of a market for it because it's only lasted for about 4 or 5 years, which is unfortunate because it is a good rifle. It does have some newer features from the nylon, which is a composite stock, integrated rail assembly so you can add your own scope. This is a Class R scope. I can't remember the exact model, but is a 3 times to 9 times adjustable magnification, and obviously horizontal and vertical adjustments right there on these caps. These aren't thumb adjustable. You do need like a small screwdriver or a coin to make adjustments to it. That said, these do have a magazine safety, so if they don't have a magazine in them, they won't fire, and they do have a cross bolt safety, which is pretty standard for most rifles. These rifles have been superseded by the Model 597 from Remington. I don't know much about them. Haven't really used them. Most of my experiences are the 1022, my Savage 6A, which has been on this channel before, and this rifle, which I've had for about 2 years now. Got this rifle from a good friend of mine as part of a deal for a few other things, and I've been using it for plinking around. It is a very good tack driver, very accurate, much more accurate than I'm capable of shooting, and definitely more accurate than the 6A. The Savage 6A, though, is granted getting close to 80 or 90 years old, and I know myself has put thousands of rounds through it. I don't think this rifle has had nearly as much ammunition run through it. It has some unique features. I'm going to do a teardown video of it, show you how to clean the rifle. It's a little bit different than the some other rifles which you can field strip. This one takes 2 Allen bolts. It does have a firing group that stays together with, when you take the stock off, the firing group is part of its own assembly, which is a nice feature. It can be a little more difficult to get it back together cleanly, but after a few times it's fairly easy to take us apart. These rifles did ship with adjustable rear sight for windage and elevation, a standard single bar front sight, and the sights work well. The scope is obviously preferred, mainly because this rifle is well accurate up to 300 yards easily. I had no problem keeping this on a 4-inch steel target at 300 yards. If I get out to another person's field soon, I could probably push this out to 500 or 600, and we can really see if this can reach out and touch a steel target that far out. That said, there is ammunition that Remington came out with the same time called the Viper 22. It's a blunt nose round. It seems to work very well, although I do prefer the CCI mini mags because they've just worked great in all my 22s I've ever shot, even my pistols. These work really well for it. The rumor was these were developed in conjunction to come with these rifles. most other people just kind of accept it was just the regular Remington 22 rifle that they just repackaged and said it was made for this just to sell more ammo. And that makes a little more sense to me. That said, you saw some shots right off the bat. I haven't shot this gun in probably about 6 months. Not too bad. I'll be able to get some rounds on target there. When I come back here though, we're gonna take this apart. We're gonna show you how to clean the rifle and properly service it. And welcome back, everybody. I'm gonna show you how to disassemble and clean this rifle. Make sure your magazine's out. Easy way to clean these out. These just have a little door right there that you can pull the spring out. And the slider. Well, not the slider, but you know what I mean. Put it back together, put it back in the correct way, push the spring back in there, and just get this started. Hard part is getting that spring in there so you can get this, and there you go. I'm not going to show you my cleaning methods. Everybody has their own. Important thing to note. You see that red mark right there? I forgot to mention it earlier, but this lets you know if the gun is safe or unsafe. In the back of the gun, there will be a little red piece that pulls right out. Not sure if it's visible on camera. It's kind of hard to see with the scope on there, but it's right down in here. That'll let you know that the pin is locked back. Not a big fan of dry firing, but you need the firing pin forward when you take the gun apart. Put the safety back on. Now to take this gun apart, you got 2 bolts right here and right here. Take an Allen wrench. If you have a rifle cleaning stand, it makes life a lot easier. I don't. Just be careful where you put these 2 bolts, because one is longer than the other. The longer one goes in the back, shorter one goes in the front. Now the fun part, because these really don't want to come apart the easiest possible way, or at least in a way I would prefer to come apart. There we go. And there's your stock. Yeah, just put it off to the side, unless you want to clean that or do something with that. There we go. And your firing group is located right here. You got your bolt assembly. To get it apart, push forward. I found there's a little notch right here that catches on here. So you push forward, you can push down, and then clear it out. You got 2 springs in here. You got a red spring. Well, they're not painted anymore, and this is a black spring. Longer spring goes in the black side, shorter ring goes in the red side. We got pins that retain them right here. They can be cleaned. You can get down in here and clean all your assembly out here. You got your springs right here. And just get in there, give everything a good solid cleaning. Pull your firing pin out. There we go. Pull your bolt. And should be able to slide. There you go. And there is your bolt right there. Give everything a good solid cleaning. Get in here, give everything good cleaning inside here. Obviously run barrel snake or whatever have you to clean out your barrel to get all the dirt out of there. Now we have everything nice and disassembled, oiled up. Like I said, I'm not going to show you my way of doing it because everybody has their own way. We'll start putting it back together. We'll put the slide forward. We're going to take our firing pin. Well, first things first, we got to get our bolt. There we go. There we go. This doesn't want to go forward. You got to lift these up. This will allow you to push everything forward. Like I said, you're going to want everything forward on this. You got your spring right here. Normally these are painted black. There's not much color to them that you can see. And this was normally painted red. Normally you can pull these pins out too to clean them and get it down in here. Now, I forgot to show you. You got 2 cups on the back side here. That's what these springs go into. Is those cups right there. Put that spring back in there. Slide everything back forward again. Now I prefer to take the springs off of here and put them into the cups. On that side. On that side. The red spring is the shorter spring, black spring is the longer spring. Now you got everything in the cup there. Just gonna get everything lined up. Probably the most annoying part of this whole process. There we go. Just push it all together. Push forward and then let it lock itself back. There we go. Now that we have that assembled, we're going to get our stock. And we're going to put that back on. Long bolt goes in the back. Short bolt goes in the forward, in the front. Yeah. Don't crank it down. You don't need to crank this down. Just give it a good snug, like everything in life. Nope, there we go. Most of these are made out of plastics and whatnot with metal inserts, metal threaded inserts. You crank down too hard and you will break the insert out, and then you're going to have a problem. There we go. And there she goes. And that's pretty much it. You know, give it a good solid cleaning. Get some oil in there. Like I said before in my other videos, I love Rem oil wipes. They're good for cleaning and they're good for putting a film of oil on everything. That said, it's a shame these guns aren't used more often, but because they're not, they're usually cheap. The only hard part is getting the magazines. And I suppose anybody with a good 3D printer should be able to print out new magazines. The springs are nothing special in there. They are the same ones used in a lot of different 22 caliber rifles and handguns, and the followers shouldn't be too much different either. That said, you can also print that in 3D plastics. But I appreciate you all coming by, checking out this video of another one of my guns. If you have any requests, feel free to leave a comment below, or if you want to discuss them. I'm always open to talking about these guns. And that said, we'll see you all next time. Well, I hope you all enjoyed that. We're going to load up some ammunition now and send some more ammo down range. To load these up, you just pull down on the thumb and you just pop these rounds one in after another. Don't go too crazy. It does have markings for when it's full, and I think they prefer you not to go beyond that. Especially if you're in one of those states that has magazine limitations. One of those very unfortunate states, I would say. Now it's designed, as I've said before, for 10+1. I put 11 rounds in the magazine. Yeah, you can stuff a couple extra more in there. I think like 12 would be the maximum it takes. But the bolt does lock back. If you pull back and push in, it will lock it. Safety's on right now. And let's put some holes in some targets. And that's it. Last round. Everything's on safe. Bolts locked back. I appreciate y'all coming by, checking this out, and we'll see you next time.